Hey dudes, today I want to talk about bounce to disk and bounce to QuickTime in Pro Tools. So let's do it. I do want to point out that if you make a selection, it will only bounce the selection that you have. A good tool for you to use, but just keep in mind if you are trying to bounce the whole thing, you don't want to make a selection. In fact, what I usually do is I just take the hand grabber tool, click on the video, then I go up to file and I pick which one I want to do, disk or QuickTime. Why I'm saying this and why this is important is that your reference file should in fact represent the entire length of the export that you want to do. So by clicking this selection, you're good to go. All right, enough talking about it. Let's do it already. File. Bounce to QuickTime. We'll start there. Okay, this menu can get a little spicy, so right now we're going to keep it as mild as possible. Bounce source, physical output. This is going to change. Yours might say like built-in output 1, 2 or something like that. If you do your physical output, it's just going to match whatever you've already been outputting this whole time. So it basically ensures that what you've been listening to is what you're going to bounce. File type wave, bit depth 24, sample rate 48. Format, we can do mono, or we can basically do a stereo interleave track. A couple other things to think about. We definitely want to include the video because, we're bouncing to QuickTime and we want to include the video. So if we didn't include the video, it would just be an audio file. I recommend you keep it as same as source. It'll bounce it as quickly as possible. And you already know that it's working because it's in your session and it's good to go. And last thing that we really need to look at is make sure you click this check for offline. If I had it like this, it would bounce in real time. So however long my project was, in this case 2 minutes, it would take 2 minutes to bounce the whole thing. Whereas this will bounce as fast as my computer can go. So let's try it. Bounce. It'll bounce the audio file first. In this case, it's going about 7-8 times as fast as real time. So that saves you a little bit of time there. And then of course it has to export the QuickTime file as well. And it's not just exporting the QuickTime file, it's exporting the QuickTime file with the audio file that you have inside your Pro Tools. So all of these files, all the sound effects, it'll take all that and it'll put it with the QuickTime. So great, now that we're done, check it out. Let's go to our Finder. By default, it just goes to your bounced files folder. There it is. It's our QuickTime with all the files that we had inside of our session. So that was bounced to a QuickTime video. Let's just do a bounce to audio only. File, bounce to disk. Now a lot of this should look the same. Bounce source, physical output, whatever your physical output is. Wave, interleaved 24, 48. That should all feel good. Got your offline box checked down here. Now, the only two things that I didn't talk about in the bounce to QuickTime is you can change your file name, and I highly recommend that whatever version or whatever pass or whatever mix or whatever date you're at, that you include that information there. So I just did V2 as version 2 for an example, and I just wanted to show you that you can, if you want, change where you're saving it to. Now, I don't recommend this because look how awesome this is. It's already in a folder inside of our background sesh folder called bounced files. And you'll see that this is where the QuickTime that I just made prior to this is living. So I like to leave all my bounces in the bounced files folder. So let's hit bounce. And then in this case, it does not have to bounce a video file. So you're all done. So after that, all you really need to do is just follow the rules of getting it to wherever it needs to go to. So let's say you just want to upload it to Google Drive or something like that. Boom, you just take those files, drag them in, you're good to go. Why this is so valuable is you can save space on an upload if you are doing Google Drive. So if you just did the WAV file bounce to disk, that's a lot smaller of a file, a lot quicker upload. You can move a little bit faster if you're trying to send something to somebody. There is convenience in the QuickTime bounce to disk, because that is all married together. So you can send it to someone, they can hit play, they can watch and listen to the mix at the same time. So there's different reasons why you might use these two techniques, but they're both great, and now you know how to do them. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I had a fun time as usual, and I'll see you next time.